Well, hi everybody, this is DearMamaSal, and it is Tuesday morning. Actually, I lie, totally lie. I'm sorry, it's Tuesday afternoon. Not that it matters really, does it? And I just wanted to let you know that for those of you who are new to watching the channel, I retired less than a week ago, and what I'm trying to do is to document for people what my experience is for making such a monumental change in my life. And so the first thing I need to explain that I wanted to know what effect would it have on my sleep pattern. And I was pretty sure I had a lack of sleep pattern prior to retiring. Well, I want to tell you that yesterday I had a very intense day in terms of thinking. In other words, I had a step that I needed to take next in my Sal and Sil show, Sil being my silhouette cameo. And the next step that I want to take with it requires some pretty intricate thinking, and I really tried very hard to get my brain around the next step. And I don't know if any of you understand this, and that's why I want to talk about these things as they happen, because I'm sure we all have them happen in different areas of our lives. I kept watching these different videos and it sort of made sense, but it didn't. And so, for example, there are two ways to look at that. The number one way is to say there's really room for a video to go up that it describes this better. And that's one thing that I've definitely got in the back of my brain here, which is once I got this thing mastered, there's room for another video on this, because nothing that I watched really made sense to me. It's like something was missing out of it that I didn't get. Anyway, having said that, I spent, quite honestly, 2 or 3 hours just watching videos, trying to mentally get my brain around it. You know, those feelings of I must be stupid because I'm not getting this came in, and then I went, no, I'm not that stupid. This just doesn't make sense yet. And then by the time I went to bed last night, which, by the way, was round about midnight. That's how long I spent trying to work this out. By the time I went to bed last night, I said, you know something, Sal? As much as you don't want to do this, as much as you don't want to waste money, as much as you don't want to waste time, you're going to have to just start doing it to find out how to do it. And I wondered if any of you have had that experience in your life where you're just going to have to do it to find out how to do it. And, you know, once I'd accepted that, wow, car overload at my local shopping place. That's amazing. Anyway. But once I had accepted that, I sort of must admit that I slept. And let me tell you how well I slept. I'm not sure whether I slept this well because I pushed my brain trying to understand, or whether I slept this long because I needed it. But I didn't wake up until 11 this morning. And it is now 1:30, and I am out and about getting various things. Okay, so now I got my rant for the day. My local post office had told Yvonne that I had mail. And so I made a special stop on my way out and about today to go and pick up the mail at my post office box. I don't know about you, but I really don't want to know that I've got junk mail, which apparently was all that was in there. Well, I hope that was all that was in there, because I threw it away. It was just like, really? All right, now then, let me think where I've got to go today. I've got 2 places that I want to go, both okay, seriously guys. I stopped talking because it's raining at the moment. And you all like my raincoat, I know. It's raining at the moment, and I'm just watching a young lady with shorts on. And I don't know why that sort of stopped me mid-sentence, but it did. And then, as I got closer, I found out that she actually had shorts on with flesh-coloured hose, almost. Something tells me she's probably a ballet dancer and coming back from cheer or ballet or something like that. So that's what happened there. I know some of you wait to see me get those moments. Oh, shush, you silly thing. All right, so now I'm off to Michael's. Now, for those of you who don't know Michael's, you are probably not craft people, but it is the Tiffany's of craft people, let's put it that way. Well, maybe not quite, but... So I'm off there to go and get a couple of things that I think I'm going to need in the near future, because we do know that once I've got this base vinyl sorted out, then I'm going to be going on to things like fabric. Very exciting. So there are a couple of blades I need to get, from what I can gather. And a few other things that, as you start doing this, you realize, okay, fine, I'm obviously going to need this next. And so what I want to make sure I've got is the basics of all these things. Now, you're probably wondering, why am I not buying it online on Amazon, where I can probably buy it a lot cheaper? Well, I've got a gift card, haven't I? And so I'm going to use it. Why would I spend my money when I can spend my gift card? Make sense? Good. But again, I wanted to talk about how all that I'm experiencing this week, has to do with life. It's not... It's like any time you challenge yourself to do something new. I assure you, there was one point last night, and I don't mind telling you that, where I really thought to myself, seriously? You thought this was going to be a hobby? And the reason had a lot to do with who I am as a human being. And so to me, I just had to laugh at myself, because am I trying to leap before I can walk with this machine? I think so. But then, haven't I always done that? Yes. And how have I always learned things? By totally messing it up and then going, oh, that didn't work very well. Let me read the instructions now. Now, I have to admit that this time I am trying to watch the videos. A lot of them. And I think this machine goes under the general category of everything's easy to do once you know how to do it. Now, for example, some of you will remember I had this situation where I struggled to move a little gizmo thing, and it was one of the first things I had to do. And I spent an hour and a half trying to do that, and I actually want to get a video going of that when I get that set up correctly, when I get the videos things. I'm trying to sort of collect the things that I'm going, wow, it needs another video on that one. Because what it struck me is I actually had Yvonne come in and gave her the instructions that are given on the video, and she could do it immediately or with very little problem. She didn't take an hour and a half at it. And then what struck me was it wasn't that I wasn't doing it right. It had to do with the fact that I've got arthritis and I couldn't put the sort of pressure that apparently was needed. And I went, soon fix that. Plan B. And off I went and got my I want to say pliers in England, and I think they're called wrenches, or no, whatever. The clampy things where you hold on to things and then turn them. So I went and got my pliers. Now I didn't use a whole lot of force on it before you have this vision of Sal totally messing up her new machine. But what I did was I put on more force than I'd been able to with my hands, and then turned it, and it turned like a dream. And I went, oh yeah, I got you fixed now. Now there's part of me that goes, I may have to have a prettier set to go with my machine. Or not. But I managed to fix that problem. Yay. But isn't that life? You know, in life you sort of go, I keep trying to do this and I keep failing. And I think a lot of you know me well enough now to know that failure at this isn't an option for me. It isn't in my brain to fail at this, because I want to do this. And this being YouTube or learning how to personalize mugs for people or whatever, you know, failing isn't part of it. It's about doing it. Now, the most wonderful thing is, going wow, because the reason I stopped talking this time was because I'm noticing on the road signs of a shredded tire. And what I did was I slowed down to make sure that it wasn't ahead of me, because I could see a couple of big trucks ahead of me, and if that tire was being slashed ahead, just right ahead of me, I could have done some damage to my car. So that's why I stopped on that one. Hang on a second, guys. So to me, life isn't about quitting. It's about doing it until you get it. But you see, what happens to most people, and I've got to say this, and it really surprises me, what happens to most people is they try it and it wasn't easy, so they quit. Or they tried it, and in case of YouTube, and they didn't make money in the first year, they quit. Well, my question about that is, where's your passion? Now you can say, oh, well, you know, I could spend my time better elsewhere. I understand that. But then one of the things, the guiding rules that I have about life is, it's not all about money. It's not all about money. A lot of you know, drop me emails and Facebook notes and everything else about the video I put up yesterday with the note that I'd received from Debbie about our broadcasts and how they had helped her and how the vlogs had helped her, and for which I'm very, very grateful, obviously. But you know, that's why I started this. I started this in the hope that maybe my experience of life and my day-to-day experiences and my attitude around them might help somebody make better decisions, or laugh at themselves a bit more, or help them forgive somebody. That's the whole reason I started this. Must admit, maybe that was my mistake. I didn't start it because I wanted to make scads of money out of it. Well, to be honest, I didn't start it, did I? Benji started it. Remember? August the 25th, 10:30, 2012. You know, it was when he went blop, 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 blop on my keyboard and said, okay, now you're a YouTuber. And I just went, what's that, honey? I'm sure that's very exciting, but what is that? I had no idea what it meant. I can remember him sitting in my living room one day when he popped in, and he said, you don't mind if I vlog now, do you? And I went, no. And I actually went into the kitchen to go and do something, thinking, I hope that's not something strange, because I just gave him permission to do vlogging, whatever that is. And then I came out to ask him, and he was already live apparently, or you know, recording, and I didn't understand. Now I totally understand. And I realize now that I say to people, is it okay if I vlog you? And they, bless their hearts, they say yes, because they have no idea what I'm saying, but I do have it on camera that they said yes. That's not altogether right, is it? No, I got to change that. By the way, if you saw my face distort a little just now, the lady in the car to my left at that moment decided that one lane wasn't enough for her. So she decided to swing across mine as well. I mean, across the white line. She gives female drivers a bad name, really. So I'm getting close to where I need to go. Now, the main thing is I'm going to need some level of personal control.